Hello Wolfpack. I think the key in the current situation for Bitcoin, and the reason why I'm making this video first and foremost, is that I'm trying to tell people that the key right now is to just be prepared for each scenario. And obviously that's kind of always the key, but specifically right now, and the reason being for that is because there's multiple things that are giving us conflicting evidence for Bitcoin right now, one of which being this fractal that I did an extensive video on last night. If you haven't seen that video, go ahead and check it out. This is a fractal torn directly from 2018 in the dead cat bounce region in 2018, and we can see this fractal is quite accurate. I mean, it's been playing out pretty much perfectly in terms of every point of contention, and in terms of, you can see it's diverted a little bit here, but it's still got the same formation, which is an inverted head and shoulders pattern, or a potential inverted head and shoulders pattern, okay? And although that's not confirmed on this chart, or on this chart here yet, we need to see a shoulder first and foremost. It is a possibility. And when you have that possibility, anything's possible, because it's just simply not confirmed yet. We don't have enough data to actually, suggest anything otherwise is going to happen. So, on Bitcoin, I guess you could say in the short term, in the next couple of weeks, it's very debatable as to what the direction is going to be. I would say we lean bearish because we've just dropped out of an ascending wedge formation. We've just rejected from downtrending red resistance line, and we've just rejected as well from the Ikomoku cloud and various things, the bull market support band. I think we look bearish, but there are arguments to be made that I can't necessarily invalidate with the evidence that I have in front of me that it would see another rally. However, what I can say is that the longer term trajectory is very much downwards, and I don't think we'll be making new all-time highs at any point in the next few months at all. I think we're going downwards further, and I think we're going to go downwards towards the 200-week SMA, which is this green line, and I've been saying that for months, ever since 60k, and that's not changing now, okay? But I suppose what I just wanted to look at is this last daily candle close. Now, we do have very strong support at 35k, not only because it is the bottom of the recent low in January 24th, right, of the bottom by candle close, I mean, but also because we have a long-term macro structure in form of an ascending channel formation going throughout 2013 all the way through 2017 and coming up now to 35k. I wish I had that chart with me right now. I don't. Go ahead and watch my last video if you want to see that. But there is basically a very large macro structure that would suggest that, hey, we would be bouncing at 35k. But you could make the argument at that point as well. It's like, well, we've already seen a bounce at 35k, so do we bounce again? And we had a double top, so do we bounce again? Essentially what I'm trying to say is that short term, it's very, very, very debatable to the point where I'm not entering any trades at all. I just simply don't know what the direction is going to be in the short term. If I had to guess, if I had to, if my hand was forced, I would say we go downwards to 35k, see a little bit of consolidation, and then crash downwards to 30k. Right, and then from that point, obviously, we go lower in my personal opinion. But I don't think we're going to swing to the upside here, but I'm not confident enough to take any trades in that matter. Now, what I want to look at, and the reason why I'm making this video, because I wouldn't just make a video to tell you that I'm not really sure what's going to happen. The reason why I'm making this video is because I want to look at the DXY. Now, the DXY is a reverse correlated chart to Bitcoin. The DXY is basically an index in which it measures the strength of the US dollar in relation to other major global currencies. So when you have the DXY going upwards, it means the dollar's getting stronger against other global currencies. When it goes downwards, it means the opposite. And usually what happens with this chart, and the correlation is very clear, right? Usually what happens with this chart is that when this heads up, Bitcoin heads down. Okay, and vice versa. And we can see that very clearly throughout the bull market and bear market in the last cycle. Okay, so we bottomed out on the DXY in January 2018. That is when Bitcoin topped out, and we headed upwards until the Bitcoin halving, when the DXY dropped and Bitcoin started going up at this point. And then we had the July bottom here. Bitcoin started going up, but it was showing serious signs of weakness, and this thing just skyrocketed. So the correlation, the reverse correlation, is very, very, very clear. And given the fact that this is in an upwards trend, we have to assume that Bitcoin is going to show weakness until this breaks down. Okay, and it is debatable, but I have drawn here an ascending channel formation. An ascending wedge formation, which is a bearish structure, which means that this thing has a chance of breaking to the downside, which means Bitcoin will have some relief. But when given the fact that interest rates are being risen in March 15th, it negates the TA, because this chart is not about TA, mostly. This chart is predominantly about macro global events. And so interest rates being risen will lead most likely to the DXY pumping, which will most likely lead to Bitcoin going down. Okay, so that's just one chart showing that, hey, the macro strength is not there. And then we look at something like the S&P 500, and it's pretty clear that, well, the macro strength isn't there for the S&P 500, because the first time since the COVID drop, we're actually seeing a correction. And it's the reason being is because, well, there is speculation that interest rates will be risen, and there is speculation that this will have a detrimental effect on the market. And this is being priced in currently. The pricing in has not stopped yet. It's still ongoing, right? We're still dropping actively. And I would expect it to go down further. Same thing with the DJI, right? And so when you look at these macro, picture, when you look at the macro picture, so you can look at the Bitcoin chart and you can think, well, short term, it's kind of debatable, right? And then you look at the longer term, and it's like, well, it's pretty clearly going to go downwards further, right? Towards the 20K region, 20 to 24K. And then you look at the macro and it's like, well, it's actually very clear that we're going to go downwards further, to the point where it would be extremely surprising if we went upwards past a significant point. A significant point, in my opinion, would be 48K. At 48K, if we manage to break above 48K, I would label the market as bullish once again, because breaking above 48K would be regaining the 50-week SMA, regaining bull market support, regaining Ichimoku, regaining the Gaussian channel, regaining basically every major area of resistance on both the daily and the weekly chart, and it would very much lunge us back into a bull market. However, the chances of getting there are very, very slim. So I suppose I just wanted to give you a quick update on the macro situation. I don't think the macro situation looks good at all, and I think that the fact that the macro situation does not look good kind of outweighs the indecisiveness on the short-term chart. And so I would say that we are going to be heading downwards in the short term for that reason. And I would also say that the longer-term trajectory is obviously downwards at a way more confident level as well. But, we could theoretically, on paper, it would make sense to see a swing back up to, say, this downtrending red line here. So say a swing back up to, say, 40K, right? That would make sense. And then a rejection from that point, that would make sense by all measures. I don't really consider that a massive move, but I struggle to believe that Bitcoin will be breaking above the previous double top highs we made here at 46K or even 45K on a daily close. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think that for the most part, we have left the 40K region behind for the most part. Now the next month or so, a little bit debatable, but I think that for now, it's safe to assume that this is not a good time to be entering the market for any significant trade past maybe 10% profit. I don't think so. So ultimately, that's what I wanted to say in the video. I also want to say in this video, and I'm going to be releasing a video later tonight because a lot of people don't really watch to the end of the videos, and a lot of people wouldn't watch the video in general, that I'm going away until the 1st of March. Starting tomorrow, and so this will probably be one of my last videos that I make. I'm going away to the 1st of March, visiting family. I'm going to a different state, and so I won't be in on my computer or anything like that. I might post occasionally on Twitter. I might make a couple of YouTube shorts, but for the most part, I'm going to be AFK. I'm going to be away from keyboard, away from the screens. I won't be able to make much content, so bear with me until that point. And with that said, I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks.